Hello friends, Ace Botane, next episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing microbes in human welfare, third part. So we can enter into the topic. So for convenience, I will share the screen so it will be easy for you. I think screen A. So we can proceed. So chapter 8, microbes in human welfare, third part. What all topics we'll be discussing in this episode. As usual, there will be an introduction. Then one of the most important part of this chapter, sewage treatment plan, STP. Then river action plans. Then finally, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So we can proceed as an introduction. See, in this present world, we can find huge amount of waste. Solid waste, wastewater, excreta, other waste, so many different types of waste are produced daily all around the world. Huge amount. All this waste has to be suitably nullified. Otherwise, life will be difficult due to heavy pollution that will be leading to diseases, etc. So how this waste will be nullified? That is the main idea of this episode. And all references will be making in connection with the NCERT book. So we can start with the main word, sewage. So what is meant by sewage? Sewage means it is the municipal waste, water, human excreta, other waste all together form the idea called sewage. And this dangerous sewage must be properly treated. How it is done? By sewage treatment plant. And that is what we'll be learning mainly in this episode. I think first page idea clear to all of you. So we can proceed to second page. This is purely NCERT diagram. Secondary treatment of STP has been given. And other one, an aerial view of a sewage plant is given. Both NCERT diagram, just for a diagram, I've shown it, that's all. Now we can proceed to third page. So when we come to third page, sewage treatment plant, short form is STP. So treatment of wastewater is done by the heterotrophic microbes. This is a famous statement from NCERT book. So treatment of wastewater is done by the heterotrophic microbes, important statement from NCERT book. And where it is seen, these heterotrophic microbes can be seen in naturally present in the sewage, just like a toddy fermentation we studied. Naturally occurring fungus. Here, treatment of wastewater is done by the heterotrophic microbe naturally present in the sewage. And this treatment is carried out in 2 stages. NCERT wise, 2 stages. But for household or domestic purpose, one more stage is needed, tertiary stage is needed, but that segment is not directly given in NCERT book. So NCERT book wise, it is 2 stages. And which are these 2 stages? First is primary treatment, second is secondary treatment. Now, primary treatment. See, primary treatment is otherwise called physical treatment, otherwise called mechanical treatment. Primary, physical or mechanical. Because here, it is physical removal of particles. Physically, we are removing the particles. Microbes will not be involved. Large and small from sewage by 2 procedures. One is filtration and other is sedimentation. So initially, floating debris removed by sequential filtration. So initially, floating debris removed by sequential filtration. Then the term comes grit. Certain terms will be there in this topic. One by one, I will telling you that first term is grit. It is nothing but soil and small pebbles. They are removed by sedimentation. So grit is removed by sedimentation. Grit means small and little bit large pebbles. That is grit or soil and small pebbles and removed by sedimentation. Then all solids that settles form the primary sludge. Primary, the name came due to the treatment. This is primary treatment, so all will be concerned with the primary. So it is called primary sludge. Supernatant, that is forming effluent. So 2, 3 terms. One is grit, other is primary sludge, other is effluent. This is all connected with the primary treatment. I think idea clear up to that. Now, so effluent that is in the primary settling tank is taken for secondary treatment. So it will be there, primary sludge and the supernatant solution that is called effluent, and that is in the primary settling tank that is taken for secondary treatment. So primary is over. Now, primary treatment, I made just like a chart, like representation, a flow chart. So it will be easy for you. You can also make it. So sewage, first is sequential filtration, you can find here. Other is sedimentation. And sequential filtration, what is done? Removal of floating debris. So very easy for you. Same manner you can also prepare. Then sedimentation, removal of soil and small pebbles. That is great. Then primary sludge. Primary sludge means all solids that settles form primary sludge. And the solution part, it is called primary effluent, that is supernatant. And primary effluent is taken for secondary treatment. I think idea clear, easy for you. So if you remember this 4 or 5 items, you can easily remember what is under primary treatment, grit, primary sludge, effluent, all this. That way question usually they put. What all things can be seen in primary treatment? What is the exception for secondary treatment? Certain procedures or substances will be given. I think idea clear. Now we'll be proceeding to secondary treatment or biological treatment or microbial treatment. Now primary effluent is the starting stage for secondary treatment. So primary effluent is passed into large aeration tanks. Big tanks will be there into which the effluent will be pumped. And this large aeration tank will be constantly agitated. So oxygen will be reaching everywhere. And mechanically, an air is pumped into it. So this allows vigorous growth of useful aerobic microbes. Useful aerobic microbes into flocks. So what is meant by the term flocks? So flocks is towards secondary treatment. So usual question, flocks means masses of bacteria associated with the fungal filaments to form mesh-like structure. It is called flocks. While growing, these microbes consume major part of the organic matter. So while growing, these microbes consume major part of the organic matter in the effluent. This will slightly reduce the BOD. BOD, you may be familiar, biochemical oxygen demand of the effluent. Now, BOD, just for a namesake, I expanded it because when we study pollution, a chapter, environment issue, present syllabus, it is not there. This we have to learn in detailed manner. Anyway, chemistry also may be studied BOD and COD, etc. Their difference, which is higher value, which is lower value, etc. Now, BOD, we can proceed. So, BOD refers to biological oxygen demand or biochemical oxygen demand, okay, refers to amount of the oxygen that would be consumed if all the organic matter in 1 liter of water were oxidized by bacteria. So it is measuring the amount of oxygen required. So by which all the organic matter in 1 liter were oxidized by bacteria. So the sewage water is treated until the BOD is reduced. High BOD value normally indicates contamination, pollution is small. Low BOD indicates low contamination, pollution is low. So BOD directly gives a measurement showing the organic matter in the water. Once the BOD value of sewage or wastewater is reduced significantly, then only we can proceed to next step. So BOD should be reduced, must be reduced. The effluent is then passed into a settling tank where bacterial flocks are allowed to sediment. This sediment is called activated sludge. So a new term, activated sludge. A small part of this activated sludge is pumped back into aeration tank. That is the usual question. Why? What is the purpose? So a small part of the activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank. Purpose is to serve as an inoculum. The remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into. So after removal of the inoculum, remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into large tanks called anaerobic sludge digesters. Large tanks called anaerobic sludge digesters. Here other kinds of bacteria which grow anaerobically, digest the bacteria and fungi in the sludge. During the digestion, bacteria will produce a mixture of gases such as methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, that all will be formed. And you know these three mainly forms what is called biogas, which is inflammable, which is a source of energy, can be used as a fuel. After these steps, the effluent from the secondary treatment plant is generally released into natural water bodies like rivers and streams. So that is naturally released. Then after that, you can find, I put some star. The reason is a tertiary treatment is needed if the wastewater to be used for domestic purposes. And tertiary treatment is a physico-chemical process involving treating with the suitable chemicals like chlorine, then using UV rays, then reverse osmosis, etc. Turbidity also can be removed. That is concerned with the tertiary treatment for household purposes. After secondary treatment, it will be released into ponds or rivers. So it is somewhat okay, but domestic purpose, it is better to undergo tertiary treatment. Now, this methodology has been practiced for more than a century now in almost all parts of the world. Where it is a developed nation, everywhere same method has been utilized to nullify sewage. Till date, no human technology has been able to rival the microbial treatment of sewage. That is NCERT line. That is the importance of this kind of natural sewage treatment plant. I think idea clear. Now I develop a simple flow chart concerned with the secondary treatment of microbial treatment or biological treatment for your convenience. This way you can make your own way. So secondary treatment starts with the primary effluent, passed into large aeration tanks, constantly agitated. In aeration tank, we can find vigorous growth of useful aerobic heterotrophic microbes and connected with the formation of flocs, masses of bacteria plus fungal filaments, consumes organic matter, and BOD get reduced. Short form, like I represent, will be easy for you. When BOD get reduced, effluent of aeration tank passed into settling tank. Flocs will sediment. Sediment is activated sludge. Some amount is used as inoculum for aeration tank. The remaining part of this sludge passed into anaerobic sludge digesters. Anaerobic methanogenic bacteria digest the bacteria and fungi, and biogas also will be produced. Then effluent is generally released into water bodies for domestic purpose, tertiary treatment needed. So I just made into a flowchart like representation. So it will be easy for you. This way you must develop this kind of arrangement so it will be easy for you to remember. And you will be feeling confidence. I think idea clear. Now comes last topic of today's discussion. Important also, river action plans. See, from time immemorial, ancient time onwards, rivers are integral part of organisms, especially or specifically human beings. For us, rivers are the basis of culture, evolution, and development. Development, T I think missing. Development. Okay. But excess utilization of man concerned with the rivers and nature, causing pollution, excessive urbanization, gradually leading to the destruction of rivers. So to counter this event, in India, or even also, it developed a system called river action plans. And India, this river action plan comes under Environment and Forest Ministry, frequently asking question, under Environment and Forest Ministry. Now, two river action plan we have to study. One is Ganga action plan and one is Yamuna action plan. Everything I written there. So Ganga action plan is GAP, Yamuna action plan is YAP. Now, Central Ganga Authority constituted in June 1985. So 85, it constituted. Ganga action plan was launched on January 14, 1986 by the Prime Minister of that time. So many books that launching took place in 1985, many books 86. So there is a controversy. Some prefers 85, some prefers 86. Now, there is another new name or new mission for Ganga action that is called Namami Ganga Mission in 2014. It's a new name to ensure clean Ganga. Yamuna action plan came in YAP April 1993. So Ganges water you can find full of dirt, everything will be there. But remember, some purity we can observe in the Ganges water naturally, or purity of Ganges water is naturally maintained. How it is possible? It is by the presence of certain bacteriophages, self-purification process in the rivers. Such an event is there naturally taking place. That is regarding Ganga action plan and Yamuna action plan, GAP, YAP. Central Ganga Authority constituted in June 1985. Ganga action plan was launched in January 14, 1980s. January 14, that is why the controversy comes. 1946 by the Prime Minister at that time. Then new form of it, that is Namami Ganga Mission in 2014. That is not in NCERT, but just namesake I given it. Yamuna Action Plan, 1993. Then the purity of Ganges water naturally maintained. That is due to certain bacteriophages, self-purification process in the rivers. I think idea clear. Now we can proceed to 5 theory question, then 5 NEET model question with the key. We can find the key I printed twice because first when I printed, I thought color will not be suitable. Forget to wrap it. Okay. Anyway, that is regarding third part of microbes in human welfare. Completely easy chapter, no much difficulty. 2 to 3 questions normally we can anticipate. So what all things we learn in this episode? As a summary, we can proceed. Introduction, sewage treatment plant, river action plans, and questions. Introduction, I told you what is the need for it. Then we entered into sewage, what is the definition, how the sewage formation takes place. Then we just passed into photograph from NCERT book, secondary treatment, and aerial view of sewage plant. Then we started with the sewage treatment plant. Yeah. It is mainly starting with or done by heterotrophic microbes naturally present in the sewage. Then 2 phases according to NCERT. Domestic purpose, one more is needed, but that is not directly mentioned in NCERT. NCERT is 2 phases, primary and secondary treatment. Primary treatment synonym. Then what happens in primary treatment? Filtration and sedimentation. Then after that, grit formation, soil and small pebbles. That is removed by sedimentation. Then all solids that settles form the primary sludge. Supernatant form the effluent in the primary settling tank, taken for. So effluent is now taken for secondary treatment. Now primary treatment, a chart has been shown, a simple flow chart will be easy for you. Then primary effluent, you can find here, primary effluent is taken for secondary treatment. Then secondary treatment, biological treatment, microbial treatment. Then primary effluent is passed into large aeration tank, constantly agitated, presence of useful aerobic microbes. Vigorous growth will take place, forms the flocks. Flocks means masses of bacteria associated with the fungal filament to form mesh-like structure. While growing, these microbes consume major part of the organic matter in the effluent. So get purified naturally. This will significantly reduce BOD. So BOD, what is BOD? That is, BOD refers to the amount of oxygen that would be consumed if all the organic matter in 1 liter of water were oxidized by bacteria. BOD are familiar with the chemistry side also, COD also there. High BOD means high contamination, low BOD means low contamination. Now, when BOD gets reduced, effluent is then passed into a settling tank where bacterial flocks are allowed to sediment. This sediment is called activated sludge. A small part of it is pumped back into the aeration tank as an inoculum. Remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into large tanks. Sorry. Large tanks called anaerobic sludge digesters. Here are other kind of bacteria which grow anaerobically, digest the bacteria and fungi in the sludge. Then bacteria will produce during digestion a mixture of gases, that is biogas, methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, fuel, inflammable, energy source. Then once the second treatment step is over, it will be then released into river or ponds or streams. Tertiary treatment needed when that water is required for household purposes. That is simply a physicochemical process, tertiary, not directly mentioned in NCERT. Suitable chemicals will be utilized, chlorine, UV rays, reverse osmosis, turbidity also can be removed. Now, this methodology, that is a very old methodology, at least 1 century old. Almost all parts of the world, same principle is applied. Till no human technology is able to compete with it. So natural procedure. Now, second treatment, again, I just represented a flowchart, so it will be convenient for you. This way you have to prepare, so before the NEET or theory exam, it will be useful for you. All the content will be just in 1 page, 2 page, that way you can reduce. Otherwise, nobody can study all the chapters in detailed manner. Now comes the famous river action plan, why the river action plan came, what is the purpose, etc. And India, it is connected with the Ministry of Environment and Forest. Forest, 2 action plans, Ganga Action Plan and Yamuna Action Plan. Central Ganga Authority constituted in June 1985. Ganga Action Plan was launched in January 14, 1986, even though there is a confusion or controversy in 1985 or 86, by the Prime Minister of that time. Now, new mission of Ganga Action Plan is called Namami Ganga Mission in 2014, again to ensure cleaning of Ganga. Yamuna Action Plan in April 1993. Now, Ganges water, even that contains huge amount of impurities, but purity of this water is naturally maintained by the presence of certain bacteriophages. That principle is called self-purification process in the reverse. It's a natural procedure. Now, as usual, we can find almost 5 theory questions, 5 NEET model question with the key. Key I typed here twice. First, when I type, I thought it will not be clear. Without rubbing, I typed another one. Okay, anyway. So that is regarding third episode of microbes in human welfare. So one more episode needed for this chapter. Meanwhile, NEET model question with a discussion that will be going on. Now 2 chapters already in your ACE button channel. Next will be soon coming. So if you subscribe all this, you can get it automatically. So subscribe the channel, like it, share it, comment on it. We can meet later with another item. So take care. All the best. Thank you.